Hello everyone, this is Chrisa Assis, and today we're going to be working on our ochos. So it is a 10-minute approximately practice that starts with finding movement in our spine and warming up the body and gently bringing in the rotation and the twist and leading up to a forward and back ochos. The special thing about today's practice is that I want us to do things a little bit more focused around the movement of the spine in the beginning, how it curves, how it arches, how it twists, how it bends, and then in the second half to focus more on how we can start movement from the hips. So as you will see in the video, there is the rotation is initiated. It's starting from the hips, and especially in one exercise I will be asking you to release the upper body and let the hips move you from left to right. So let's see how much power we can create, how much movement, how much freedom we can create in that way. Try not to think, oh, is this how I should be doing my ochos? Is it only the hips moving? No, it's not only the hips moving. We're not trying to isolate things. We're trying to make sense of things. We're trying to understand how things work together. That's why for just this practice we're taking our focus, especially at the second part, at the hips. And hopefully in the first part you'll also get, aside from warming up the body and starting to move in the spine, to move the spine and so on, you also notice how the upper and the lower body are connected, and we'll be working more on that connection in the videos to come. So with no further ado, here we go. Have fun. We're going to start with finding movement in our spine. So I want you to start with looking up, opening up the chest, relaxing the hips forward, and then curving back down. So imagine your nose is striking a nice long line to the ceiling, as far back as you can look, and then down towards the floor. You do this a couple of times and you'll notice, as I've noticed as well, that those waves are becoming bigger and bigger, and that your spine is starting to release, and that you're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with taking the hips forward. So we want a nice full wave going up, opening up the chest, bringing the hips forward, and then going down, curving the spine fully, and starting to arch again. So you will notice, if you watch closely, that my curve is becoming a lot bigger and the extension is becoming a lot bigger. We want that balance. We want as much as possible, and try to notice that in your waves, that our curves and our extensions are balanced in terms of energy, in terms of muscle, in terms of time, and in terms of comfort. So if you feel that you're going into a big extension that does not feel as comfortable as a big curve, adjust the two so you're reaching at levels that you feel comfortable in both cases. So now you can see that the wave has become a lot bigger in terms of extension. So my extension can reach further back and my curve can reach further back. We're going to reach up and do side bends. Of course, you can always do more. You don't have to stop when I'm stopping if you're really enjoying the waves. The one thing I want you to notice here is that as I'm coming over to the side, I'm not going straight down. Take a look, it's coming right here. See? I can easily see you, right? So the top shoulder is coming a little bit forward. I don't want you to drop your shoulders forward. I just want you to notice. This is very important. Your body is following that movement because it's the most efficient way to do a side bend. I don't want you to make that drop bigger. I just want you to notice it here in the video and in your body. Also, try to feel that at the same time as you're going up, you're going down towards the floor through the legs. Not pushing actively, just notice that gravity is taking you down. And now we're going to put the two together. We're going to make nice circles in one direction, passing through those different positions in the forward fold, the extension, the side bend. Allow your breathing to relax you through this circle. And when you're ready, you can change your direction and go the other way. And of course, you can make the circles smaller or bigger depending on how comfortable you are. Notice differences in the front body compared to the back body, or the left side compared to the right side, if there are any differences. And most importantly, notice how the spine adjusts from the head all the way down to the tail. Notice this actively here. Take a moment before the next exercise. And now we're going to get into the hips. Try to relax the upper body and start the rotation from the hips like I'm doing here. And let your arms float left and right, left and right, left and right, trying to pick up the speed if you can. It's going to look and probably feel a little bit silly, but also try to relax the head in a specific position. Focus your head and let the rest of the body flow. I look at it, it's kind of funny. But feel free to feel funny and notice how your middle body reacts. Take a moment here. Notice the adjustments and start again. Let's go for a second round. Starting slowly and then picking up the speed. What we want to see here is how the spine reacts, how the core reacts, how the arms react. If we can channel our breathing in a certain way to help with the twist. If we can really isolate the neck and see how that, it should almost feel like a massage here. Like you just went for a massage. And now we're going to put this very exercise into good work for forward pivots. So this is our preparation, starting from the hips. Bring the hip forward and back, just like you did before, only you take a step first. Yes? Here we're working on, or preparing, better said, for forward ochos. Do this a couple of times and notice what is it in the position of the hip that changes as you take the step and as you are preparing for that rotation. How is the rotation happening? How it is affecting as you turn the hips? How are the legs? How is your balance affected? How it channels up to the body. You do the same thing with back ochos, or the preparation for back ochos. And I want you to be very mindful. I don't want you to just throw the hips around. I want you to really pay attention. For example, for me, I noticed after doing this exercise that I have the tendency to press my right hip forward for some bizarre reason. And so that exercise was becoming a little bit tough. When you notice these things, take a moment. Try to understand why there is tension, why you're feeling a block. Just try to get into the root of the problem, and not just work through it, or oh well, tango is tough, and don't give these excuses. These are simple movements. We twist around to look over our shoulder every day. Treat it as something like that and not as a preparation for forward or back ochos. So for me, I just needed to bend my knee a little bit, and maybe um, if you compare it to older videos that I've sent you, maybe you can see that difference now. That could be possible. So make your adjustments, notice the details, go slowly, and repeat as many times as you need to. Of course, always on both sides, and forward and back ochos. The other thing that will help you is tapping into your breath. I don't want to tell you where you inhale and where you exhale. Firstly, because I want you to notice that for yourself. And secondly, because people do breathe differently. They have different tempos. So my tempo might not be matching your tempo exactly. But it is true that our breath is our number one anti-gravity mechanism. So use it here for those twists to become a little bit more balanced as we're getting ready for ochos. And here we go. As if you have a partner, you can connect to a wall or by the windows if you're lucky enough, like me, to be looking out at a little garden. So notice here how my arms are not stuck. Also, how my body is not stuck, and how much this movement is similar to that crazy twist we did, right? So we want to find freedom of the leg inside the hip, freedom of the hips around the legs, connection between the hips and the legs without getting stuck. Freedom doesn't mean that different parts do whatever they want without control. The connection between our hips and our rib cage, but also the freedom of the rib cage. So here, all these things are very, very important, because we hear, especially in the twist, of how in order to achieve balance, you have to really take the body into very strict and strenuous positions. So I want you to try to focus on the hips. Let them move, even if it's not how you regularly do your forward and back ochos. But let them direct your step and your ocho. Just as an exercise and an exploration for today. And notice how that makes the movement feel and how you feel about it. And also how it connects movement-wise to what the rest of the body is doing. Are you seeing any of those side bends that we were working before? Any of those extensions and those curves? If so, excellent. If not, try to notice them. They are there, only they are a lot smaller than what we were doing before. In the first exercises, they are exposed, and here they're hidden but very supportive.